Why didn't you say anything? You're supposed to be in charge of that.
Me?
Yes. You're supposed to tell me. No, don't switch it. All right, let's start over.
Hi. Welcome to Family Showdown. Good evening. I'm going to throw my computer in the canal. So, yes, welcome to our short but heavy games.
So if you don't read lips, I said that we took a poll both in the live chat and the Q&A and in comments, and 1 hour won as the line of what a short game is. So an hour or less is short, more than an hour is not short, I guess.
So we'll see.
All right, so let me preempt
Okay.
the backlash of our lists. We, at least I, personally have not played in what I would consider a heavy game that takes less than an hour. I personally have not played one. What I would consider a heavy game. Now, what I consider as a heavy game is not going to be what someone else considers a heavy game.
Oh,
right?
okay. I gotcha.
So what I would consider a heavy game, I don't have any that take less than an hour. So,
Okay.
that said, but I think the games on my list would be considered heavy by many people. So, that's the kind of how I went with it.
Okay. Kind of ran into the same issue. So I was looking at them and going, oh, wow, the most I can get is like medium weight, medium heavy. So I looked at our games as 2-player games, like games that we play 2-player, and if it fit in the hour, we played 2-player. So I was able to add.
Oh, sneaky.
So my games may be heavier than yours.
Yeah, I think they will be.
Because when we play them 2-player, they're an hour or less. Now,
all right,
if you play them multiplayer, yeah, they'll probably go over the hour.
Yeah.
But so that would be my list.
I didn't even think about that. That's a sneaky cheat. I like that. That's a pretty sneaky cheat. Yeah, mine are. I think even with the full complement of people, it's going to take less than an hour.
Okay, I definitely cannot say that about mine.
Yeah. Mine,
I was looking at them from a 2-player perspective, so you're going to see someone here and you're like, no way, but yes way, 2-player.
Yeah, so. I'm curious though. I wonder if I'll agree with your assessment that it takes an hour or less on some of these.
You should. If you don't, I'll just smack you in the book.
They're saying the cheating's already beginning. All right, I have no cheats. I just don't have any super.
Hey, it's my job to break the list, people.
I don't have what I would consider super heavy games on my list.
Oh no, none of these are super heavy, but I definitely think I've got some games that are.
Well, I think anyone that's new to gaming,
these would be heavy.
That would play these games would go, wow, that's a lot to deal with.
Yes.
So
you can definitely say that. And I ordered my top 10 in order of heaviness. So my lightest game is going to be my 10, and my heaviest game is going to be a 1. And I'll tell you what the BGG heaviness rating is. It's on a scale of 1 to 5. So I have the point system for that. And
all mine fell within.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And I put the playtime, the overall playtime in here too, to talk to you about that.
Wow, you got more fun facts than I do.
I'm just tired of messing with your baloney. I was like,
wow,
you cheated on this list. And I'm like, no, I did not. There you go.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Whew.
I did my homework.
Shots fired.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Bring it. Just saying.
All right. I can do my homework as we go.
Whatever.
All right. What's your number 10?
Not even checking the sound.
Let's start this madness off. I was so excited that we got everything to work that
it didn't work.
I didn't turn the sound on.
All right. My number 10 is my lightest game. It comes in as a 2.35.
Oh my gosh, your stuff is all over the map.
That was changed. I did not do that.
Okay.
Anyway,
why don't you talk about it and I'll fix the graphic.
I was trying to. All right, so it's a 2.35 out of a 5 on BGG, and that is Agricola, all creatures big and small. This game is only 2-player, and it is a distinct 30 minutes, and I think that's pretty accurate on that. The only way it would take longer is if somehow you are just massively doing the AP, analysis paralysis, and sitting there and overthinking your moves, because it's a pretty quick game. Now, the first time you play it, I think it might take a little longer, but...
Also depends if you just play the base game or if you add in tricked up buildings.
True, because they got more to look at and more to do and stuff. Right. But I just grabbed the base game info because it's kind of hard to find some of the additions and stuff anyway. So, anyway, that's my lightest game. And again, it's a 2.35, and that's all creatures, big and small.
Yeah, I think that's lighter than anything on my list. I think.
Yeah, it's my lightest.
I didn't look up the numbers on mine, but I think all of mine are like a 2.67 to a 3. You get above a 3, you're over an hour long, pretty
Usually,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Except for the 2-player thing, but yeah, it was. I almost didn't put this on because I was like, gosh, that's really light. But I was looking at our games, and man, if you want to look for a short game, that's probably on the heavier end of a 30-minute game. To be honest.
If you put
a 30-minute game, you're going to be really hard pressed to find something over a 2.
Yeah. Yeah,
so.
And it's you could add, if you have the expansions, you can add a lot of buildings to trick it up. So.
That's true. So yeah,
they're calling it a Rickla Children's Edition in the chat.
Oh, bring it! I'll play you.
All right, my number 10 is Viceroy.
I have not thought about that one. I like that game.
Viceroy.
I like that game.
So the Viceroy is kind of a tableau building, I guess, kind of game where it has some interesting hidden auction mechanisms. So if you bid for the same one and you bid for the same amount, you lose part of your bid, and it's got a really interesting auction thing. But the brunt of the game is you're drafting, you're buying those cards, and then you're building a tableau, and it's in a pyramid fashion. So you have a rows 1. Each card has a different power depending on what row it's in. And so if it's row 1's the weaker powers, and then row 2's a little stronger, and row 3, and et cetera, et cetera. And while you're trying to get powers that play off of each other and find efficiencies with that, you also, the orientation of the cards to each other matters because you're trying to create little gems that have one color, all the same color.
I like that too. I like that aspect of the game. I think it's really fun.
So you kind of have 2 levels here. You want to build an efficient engine, but you also want to purchase cards that might fill out your little gems. And gems are the number of gems you have at the end are in-game bonuses, and you can have cards that give you bonuses for making those little gems. So and I guess just by describing, you can tell it's somewhat complex. And then also at the same time, you can draft a superpower card thing that gives you...
Oh, yeah, it gives you those cool bonuses. I haven't played that in a while. That's a good game. I like that.
So there's a lot going on, but it doesn't take that long because you're just buying cards, putting them in your thing, buying cards, putting them in your thing. It goes pretty fast. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, I don't know what the lightness or heaviness of it is, but it's...
it's got to be a little bit heavier than Agricola, all creatures, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Not by much, maybe, though.
All right. There you go.
That's good.
My number 10, Viceroy.
That's a good one. My number 9, again, remember, I'm looking at these 2-player-wise, so from here on out, you might be like, because that's my only 30-minute game, was my number 10. But my number 9 is a 2.59 out of 5, and it is Istanbul. Now, this game runs about 40 to 60 minutes, it says on the box, and that's pretty accurate, because I think that's about how long it took us the first time we played it, and then, of course, it gets quicker as you play it more and more. So, goes pretty quickly, but I think that it's fairly heavy, especially, like you said, if you're not used to playing this sort of game in that time frame. There's a lot going on. You get to travel, and each game is going to be different because it's modular with the different areas that you can go to in the market. So sometimes you've got some great combos that are really close by. Another next game, they might be on opposite ends of the board, and you've got to figure out a new traveling thing or do a completely different tactic, and it's just really fun because you're moving around, and I just like that each little module that you're putting together has a completely different thing. It's got a little place where you can gamble, and what was the one? It was like the post office was one place, and there's my favorite one is the police station with your crooked nephew or whatever that you can send off to hire people to go run errands for you and stuff. And it's a really fun game, and I love the choices with that.
What was the weight on it?
The weight says it's 2.59.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I think I don't know if I have one. That's like that was borderline for me. I'm like, yeah, that was I kind of drew a line. I think I drew a line at 2.6, maybe. I don't know on weight, but that's a good one. That's a good one, especially if you throw in some expansions. That's going to add a lot to the rules and it's going to make it even more complex, right?
Yep. And Tommy, that's nobody's business but the Turks.
Istanbul.
That's right. Istanbul, number 9. What's
All right.
number 9?
My number 9 is Mage Wars Academy.
Oh, it is in that time frame, I betcha.
Yeah, it's pretty quick in the Academy version. The Mage Wars original game was longer, but Academy is shorter. And this game might come easier to someone that's played lots of card games with lots of symbology and stuff on it. But it has a lot of the there's like a list of different powers, like a creature might have, rampage, or it might have piercing, or it might have this power or that power. And if it's a lot to grasp if you're new to gaming, and
that's
you have to. You're continually opening the rule book, going, okay, what does this
do?
What does this power do?
That's true.
And it has a lot of different abilities and effects that not only the casters do, but the creatures and things like that do as well.
Yeah, the nice thing is, though, we tend to play the same characters when we play that, so it gets easier the more we play it, because you're like, oh, I remember, you like to play the beast guy that always sends all these animals after me, and so you're a little more familiar with it each time you play, so...
Well, yeah, and to describe what the game is, kind of to back up, it's just a mage fighting. You're a mage, and the other person's a mage, and it doesn't have a board or anything, it just kind of goes in front of you, and you summon creatures and cast spells, and basically it's the first one to kill the other person's mage wins. So, there you go. Mage Wars.
I fire a magic missile.
Academy.
Into the darkness. Alright, anyway.
You can fire magic missiles, I think. They call it something else, I'm sure.
No, I think it actually wasn't magic missile or something. Anyway, my number 8 is a 2.64, and that is Fields of Green. And it actually puts this game right at 45 minutes, so this is one of the few that squeaks in under that hour, and I think that's a pretty accurate thing, because it really took us about an hour, our very first game, and it's gotten successively quicker from just, once you understand how that game plays, you can really throw it down pretty quickly.
What's the game
with
about?
The engine. It's about fields that are green. Well, not all of them. No, I really like that one, though, because you've got the different, it's, once again, placement and proximity things. I like these games. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, you're placing down tiles, and your cow field gets bonus points if it's next to the cornfield, or just random things like this, and you get points by that, and you got to pay attention to where you put your fields as next to water sources and things like that, or you're not going to be able to get any benefit from it. And you're kind of building a little engine to get this resources and be able to harvest and make money off of it and sell your animals, whatever. So it's really fun game, and it goes surprisingly quickly, and I was a little bit surprised that it's considered as light as it is, I guess, because it's just so easy to learn. They do a really good job, but there's a lot going on with it.
But when you're playing, there's a lot of almost math going on, right?
Yes,
because you got harvesting. Like, okay, I'm gonna produce 3 corn, and this cow needs to eat 2 corn, and then I gotta do this to feed these things, and this land needs so much water, so I need to produce this. It's very much logistics, I guess. It's very logistic heavy, and I think. It's kind of easy to learn, but there's a lot to think about, because you could very well, if you're not paying attention, oh crap, I can't water all my things I need to water. I don't, and then I don't produce the corn, and the corn doesn't feed the animals, and it all kind of blows up on your face. So and it's a retheming of Among the Stars, right?
Yes, which is also a really good game, and why did I not put Among the Stars? There was something with it. It's actually ranked lighter. That's why I put it as too light.
This is definitely heavier than Among the Stars.
Yeah, this is heavier than Among the Stars.
Because Among the Stars only has power. You don't have the water. I mean, the water is basically your power.
The engine is not the
same. But you don't have to produce
the
food to feed the animals and stuff like that.
Yep.
That one you just have to be able to power everything.
It was ranked significantly lighter to the point where I was like, nah, it's below my cutoff.
And you don't have to continuously fuel in Among the Stars. Once you quote power something, you don't have to keep powering it. It's a one. Well, you basically have to pay the power to put the card down, but then you don't have to worry about it. This one, you have a field that needs water. You got to keep producing water somehow or build more water towers to. There's just a lot more going on.
It's more like your front lawn. You have to keep watering the dumb thing to keep it green. It's amazing.
All right.
So that's my number 8. Fields of Green.
Good one.
Yep.
Not as good as my number 8.
Whatever.
My number 8 is very similar to my number 9. I think it's even a little more complex. Same genre-ish, but more complex.
Ish.
And that is...
Nerd.
Magic the Gathering.
Big old nerd. Look at you.
So this is Mage Wars Academy on steroids, because they have... Mage Wars might have 20 different powers.
True.
Magic has 20,000 different powers and interactions and things. So I haven't played this game in ages. I don't remember the last time I played this. Probably 15 years ago, maybe.
So old.
I am old. And it had a lot of abilities and things and combos and weird stuff back then, and I know it's got to be adding more and more and more and more and more things.
Or maybe they're just revamping the same stuff.
Well, maybe they are. Maybe they use. I bet they've got more powers.
Of course they do.
But when I played back in the day, they had a book this thick showing all the different powers and abilities that you had. So I don't know what it's like nowadays.
It's on your phone. There's an app, I'm sure.
There's an app. What does Trample do?
Yeah.
Okay, Google, what does Trample do?
I guarantee that's what people do.
So that's it, Magic the Gathering. This one, if someone is just trying to play a generic card game, this one is just all the stuff that's going on with it. I mean, I think the best way for someone probably to get into it nowadays, I don't know.
That cool new starter thing
is
they've got,
what they call them, dual decks or something like
Yeah,
that. You basically pop
heck
open your
yeah.
deck and you're ready to play.
That's
and,
cool.
And I would assume that each deck would come with, tells you what all the different abilities and all the
It's got
cards
a rule
have.
guide
I
and
don't
stuff.
know. I haven't
It
played.
does.
But,
Yeah, it does. It's really cool.
But there you go. Magic the Gathering, symbology and powers and lots of cards and stuff.
And stuff and things.
Yep.
Stuff and things. All right, my number 7 is a 2.76
Ooh.
on the 5.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's my number 7 too.
I think that you may be. I don't know if we can get this in an hour. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway.
Anyway, it's Imperial Settlers, and the box for the whole thing, any player count, it says 45 to 90 minutes, and I think we crack it out right at about an hour.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Now the first game, no, I don't think so. But again, I don't. Learning games really don't count. You can't take an accurate time off of that.
Yeah, I think once you learn the different,
it goes so much faster. It goes
Yeah.
so much faster because the hardest part for this one is figuring out. Okay, so I have to put this building on this side and this building on this side, and you can attack these buildings. Just figuring out kind of how it works, and then after that, you just kind of fly through your turn. You're like, okay, these are the resources I get at the beginning of my turn. Blah blah blah, and you can fly through it. It was significantly a shorter game once we played it.
Yeah, this one didn't make my list because of the 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and like I said, I think we're going to start to, split paths here because my games get heavier and
My games are all
overall
about the
playing
same.
time
Yeah.
is going to change because mine are, I went off of the 2-player thing only.
That's fair, but
Yeah.
ish.
Well, usually if we're playing heavier games, we're playing them 2-player anyway, so that was kind of just my go-to thought about it. So, but it's a really great game, and it's nice because they have these expansions now where you can, I think, what do they have? The Egyptians and the Aztecs, and they've added...
Atlanteans.
Oh, yeah, the Atlanteans. So you can add different races, and every race has a slightly different starting power and things that they can do, and I don't know, I like this game, and it kind of threw me off, to be honest, at first because it had sort of cutesy looking art, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be some light fluffy game, but
Right.
no, it's not really. It's got a lot going on with it, and I really enjoy it. Although I still think that those things are tomatoes or whatever, and the apples or whatever
Yeah,
they
we
are.
always call them tomatoes.
Yeah, we're always like, give me some tomatoes.
That's
or
a good
whatever.
one. I think you're right. I don't think you can get a full player count game done in an hour, but I think 2 players you can easily do it in an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
I'll give you a slide pass.
Oh.
All right, my number 7. Let's see if is it another card game with lots of symbols. Let's see. No, it is not.
Oh, wow.
It-
That was
it-
an hour?
It is Euphoria. Build a better dystopia.
That was an hour?
It was if you don't include the time it took that guy to teach us how to play, it was an hour.
Interesting.
But it took a long time to teach this game. That's why it's on my list. It's a heavy game, but I think if you know what you're doing, you can get it done in an hour.
That's true, because once we actually started playing, it went really quickly.
Well,
yeah,
anyway,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, if you
Interesting.
Yeah, the first couple of turns took forever, but then because we didn't even know what half the things even did.
Yeah,
but it wasn't explained very well to us. But anyway, Euphoria. It's your dice are workers. You roll them. They give you powers.
Yeah.
You go and you can get artifacts, and you can dig tunnels, and you can do commodities, and you can cause your opponents to have hindrances and all these sorts of cool things. And I really like games where your workers are dice, and they're variable. What happens with those dice? You're not set in what they do. So
that was a game that kind of grew on me. At first, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this game, but the more we got into it, the more I was interested in it.
I think honestly, what put me off was that halfway through the game, I still didn't really know what was going on.
Oh yeah, it takes yeah. It's kind of confusing, and they hadn't played it that much either. I think before they had.
I think they played it once, and then they
were trying to teach it too, and it was So we were all kind of like struggling through the game, but once we all got the hang of it, it did click pretty quickly.
Yeah, I want to kind of revisit that one again at some point.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see here, and then my number 6. Is a 2.89.
Wow, this is way heavier than anything on my list.
No, I told you it would be. And this is 5 Tribes. Now, the total play time they have for 5 Tribes is 40 to 80 minutes, but with 2 players, we surprisingly do not suffer from the AP problems that a lot of people have with this, where they sit there and think it through to death. So we can crack this out in 40 minutes to an hour without too much effort, but...
Yeah, we kind of made an agreement that we scan the board quickly and then make a move.
Yeah, it's not a... without the last turn.
With the last turn or two,
you can't help yourself.
You have to kind of look at. Well, the last turn or two, the last turn or two is the difference between like 2 points and 20 points.
It is. It really is. You have to spend a few minutes on that one. But the rest of it, we're like, okay, we're not going to sit here and overthink it. We're just going to go with it. Just kind of go with the flow. And surprisingly, that worked.
Yeah, I think even our first game, after we learned the rules, took less than an hour.
Yep.
But I don't think you can get a full complement under an hour with this one too. And that's kind of, I think we judged our list differently. I did if you have a
play with everybody
a full number, can you get it done in an hour?
Yeah. So it's a great game again because you've got this kind of Mancala thing going, but you've got different colored little meeples that you're using for the Mancala thing. So depending on what color meeple you have and where they land as the last point determines what you get to do. And you also have a tiny bit of an area control thing by putting down these palm trees and palaces and stuff and kind of laying claim to stuff and getting the bonuses off of it. And then you've got the djinns and different things that give you extra powers. And it's just, I really like this game. And it feels, to me, more complex, I think, than they seem to give it credit for. It just seems like there's so much going on with that and all the different decisions that you have to make in that game.
And how things play off each other. And
because there's so many combinations. I still feel like I have not tapped into a lot of the combinations in that game.
Well, you don't get the same...
and you never get the same game when you play, So... it's kind of fun.
Well, they informed me that Magic is a 3.15 and Euphoria is a 3.11. So maybe I was wrong about my list.
Yeah.
I kind of drew a line and took things higher than this and then just picked my favorites out of that.
So group. You've got some that are competing with my top ones.
That's a good one.
Excuse me.
I think if you play with the wrong people, this is a 2-hour game though.
Well, yeah, but again, 2-player for us, it's not. Doesn't seem to be much of an issue.
We're on 6.
We are on 6.
My number 6 is a group of games because I can't really decide which one I would put as the game, but I guess you can tell by the picture which one my favorite one is. And I am talking D&D board games.
Yeah, I guess those are about. Are they? They're an hour?
A scenario is an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
You're not going to get a campaign in an hour, but a one-off
silly.
scenario is less than an hour. And the reason this is complex is not really the rules of the game, but obviously the rules of the game, but not the gameplay. It's more the knowing your character's skills, all the skills, how they work. You have daily powers. You have it's D&D. You have daily powers. You have uh, and like always usable powers. I can't remember what all they're called, but there's different kinds of powers that you can use at different times. The monsters are there's no bad guy, there's no overlord or anything like that. So the monsters are automated. So you need to know how the monsters are going to work. Does it move this way or that way, or how does it attack? Does it stay in place? Does it defend an area? And and then the scenarios all have unique rules that you have to know for the scenario. That the monsters are going to guard this area unless someone comes here, and you have to remember all those things. So there's a lot going on, but the move around and fighting is not that complicated.
Gotcha.
It's all the other, to make that happen, there's a lot of rules going on. There it is. At will powers, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So at will powers and daily powers and
encounter powers.
Encounter powers. There you go. Look at that. So, but the Temple of Elemental Evil is probably the favorite one I've played personally.
Yep.
I'm the only one that played it because I played she was gone for a week and I played the whole campaign. It was fun. I played 3 characters, I think, and I played the whole campaign.
Awesome.
And it was fun.
That's awesome.
So that's it. So this
Very
is
cool.
kind of as an umbrella for Ravenloft and Legend of Drizzt and all the other.
Oh yeah.
All the different D&D board games.
Good times. So okay, that's number 6. I am on to number 5. This one is a 2.93 on the heaviness scale out of 5. And it's probably one of the prettiest games that we own.
Can we play this in an hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can now.
Okay.
And that is Yamatai. And yes, we can play this in an hour. I don't know why you're giggling like a little kid. But it is so beautiful.
I gotta be contrary a little bit, right?
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's a gorgeous game, but you're sailing your little boats around and picking up things, and I just like that there's several different choices and paths that you can take with this. You can go and sail around like a crazy person and do the paths, the little color-coded paths with the boats and stuff, or you can spend less time on that and more time getting all the stuff off of the island and doing things on the islands and cutting your opponent off from them trying to get some kind of cool little boat path combo and, just stuff like that. But no, when we're playing a 2-player, it's right. It's just under an hour now. So we've gotten much quicker at it now.
That's another game that could be AP prone. It's very similar to Five Tribes. Because we go, okay, I have 3 boats. If I put one, because I know I had some turns where I was like overthinking. I'm like, I forget it. I'm just going to do something because it's like, okay, can I surround the island? Can I get 2 islands at the same time? Can I do this and this? There's a lot of thinkiness to it. But yeah, I think you're right. I think 2 players on one side of the hour, but I think anything more than that.
It'll go over an hour. Yeah, it says it goes up to 80 minutes. So it's still under an hour and a half with everybody, which I think tells you it's pretty easy to hit the hour marker.
Yep. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's good that you're doing it your way and I'm doing it my way, because then they're going to get 2 different.
Oh, yeah, I think so too.
Yours is the 2-player list.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It is.
Which is fine.
No, this is good.
We have a lot of people that watch.
Well, you'll have more variety that way too.
Yep.
Depends on what you're looking for.
There's a lot of games on my list that I don't put on other lists.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Well, in these I have a few that I haven't really talked about much in a while because they don't really fit a certain niche or whatever, but they worked really well. So yeah, Yamatai is actually a 2.93, guys, out of 5. Got a lot going on with it. Gorgeous game. If nothing else, go gawk at it and check it out for the artwork. I mean, it's probably the most beautiful cover, too, that we have.
We made our 5 on the spot best cover. It was a crossover.
As opposed to, what other nonsense did I pick last time? Yeah, that was good.
All right.
Anyway, what you got for
my number 5 has already been mentioned. It is the Fields of Green.
Good choice.
Fields of Green for all the reasons she said. I just think it's the logistics of it is what makes this game heavy. And I think it's heavier than whatever they rated on BDG because there is a lot of logistics. I mean, you could just kind of go, oh, whatever, I'm just going to play, and you end up your crops are not growing and all this other stuff. But, But you're sitting there thinking it out. It's like, okay, I need to put something here, and I need to do this, and I'm going to get 3 corn, but I need 4, so...
What shocked me about it, too, is I was thinking, as much thinking as we're doing for this, I swore it took longer than it did to do that game. because it seems like you're sitting there
it goes
mathing
really-
out, but it goes really quickly.
Goes really fast.
And for what its weight is, I still swear that that's not quite right on the weight for that. But yeah,
it depends on how into it you get and how much you brain burn on it, right?
Yep. Indeed. So there you are.
All right.
Good pick.
We already talked about it, so we're going to move on to the next one.
All right, my number 4 is one of, I don't know, it's pretty high up on my list. I really enjoy this one. This one is a 3.03 out of 5, and it is Shakespeare. I really like this game. Now, what's funny is the playtime on this, they've listed as 20 to 90 minutes.
I think it's about an hour, 2-player.
That's what I'm thinking, 2-player. I'm like, 20 minutes. I think
is
people
there
are
a
just...
solo mode in that game or something?
I don't know.
Whoever's doing it in 20 minutes is flying through
Well,
that
and
game.
I was thinking, are they sabotaging it to be just like, I want to end this, end game stuff? And I'm like, really? What would you do with that? It's got to be a solo thing. But yeah, it's easy for us to crack that out in an hour or less.
Well,
now.
we play it so infrequently we have to relearn it,
But not so much like last time. It really
Yeah,
didn't take
that's
that long.
true,
It
that's
took
true,
less than
that's
5
true.
minutes and we were able to do it. And I love it because you've got the different actors that you're hiring and you're trying to keep, you get benefits as you move along certain tracks, and you've got certain people that get certain jobs to give you discounts to do other stuff. And the variety and the different tracks, keeping track of that and how you work through those each turn. I really love that. And the fact that you could outbid me and snag the card I was wanting to get before I get it and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, it has a lot going on.
It's got a lot going on.
Yeah, because it's got the.
Oh, and you're also building up the stage too at the same time.
You got all the stuff going on your board, but you also have the theater over here where you got to send your guys, and if you don't, you gotta decide, okay, am I gonna go there early and not get as much stuff, or what's my opponent gonna do? And there's a lot going on in that game.
Yeah. I love it. And it's pretty, too, on top of it. I think it's a pretty game. So, there you have it. Shakespeare.
It's a good one. It didn't make my list, obviously, because if you play...
Well, yeah, I mean, if you play with everyone in 90 minutes, it's probably about right.
Yeah.
But 2-player, not a problem.
All right.
Your number 4.
My number 4? We're already to 4s?
We are.
All right. My 4, I think it's going to be on... I don't know what the weight on this one is, but... My number 4 is Race for the Galaxy.
I did not even think about that. I, for some reason, thought that was a longer game.
No, Race for the Galaxy is quick. I think a full group is under an hour because it's a lot of the simultaneous play that's going on. Now, if you don't know what you're doing and you're having to look up every little symbol, it's going to take forever.
Well, yeah, but obviously you're not counting a learning game. So, ooh.
Yeah, race is a symbology overload. If you don't, I mean,
the first time you play
need a
that,
cheat sheet to know what everything. It has like a little hand, and it's got a little moon, and then it's got.
Well, yeah, but some have a ring around them, but then some are like a hollow ring, and some are solid, and yeah, there's all sorts of stuff with that. There's a lot going on with it.
I have Race and Roll both. I think Roll is lighter. But I wanted to include them both because I think they're both fairly heavy to someone that's not used to cards with just a symbols.
Yeah. Oh, Dan says it's a 2.97, out of 5, so that's pretty hefty.
Yeah. So
thank you, Dan. But yeah, it's
just a lot. I mean, and if you don't play this game often, it's like you got to reprogram your brain to know. Okay, so with this phase, this happens, and then this symbol means that, and these combo off of each other, and it's a lot to take in. I think Roll is a little easier because the only reason I say it's easier is because if I recall correctly, they, instead of using a bunch of symbols, they write words as well. They put some words in there to kind of make it a little easier to follow what's going on. But the game itself, they're pretty much very similar in weight and the gameplay, but it's just whether you can read the symbols or not.
Yeah. I think the way they streamlined Roll for the Galaxy, it's probably a decent bit lighter.
Yeah,
but it's a good game. So do you remember what the playtime was on it though?
Race is 60 minutes.
Oh, was it right? Wow, I would have thought it took longer. That's interesting. Yeah, heck yeah, because otherwise that'd be on my list too.
Right over there. You pull it off. It's all off the shelves. 30 to 60 minutes.
Wow, awesome. Good times.
So there you go.
Sweet. All right. My number 3. I know why you didn't put this on, but otherwise it would be on your list.
Oh, I don't know if you can get this in an hour 2-player.
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
I think so. It's 3.19 out of 5, and that is Marco Polo.
Maybe.
Oh yeah,
Maybe.
we know enough about it. You can get it. It's the playtime they have on it is 40 to 100 minutes, and honestly, I think we can get it in an hour.
I think if you focus in, you probably could get it.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know. It's never taken us.
All I know is 4-player takes about an hour and a half, easy for 4-player.
Yeah, 4, but that's 4-player. That's jumping 2 more players. Think about it.
Yeah,
it's like
that's true. And places are blocked when you play 2-player.
Yeah,
and stuff like
so
that.
no, it goes a lot more quickly. It seems like because you
Alright,
have more
I'll give you another
options and
pass.
everything, you're able to get more done. Usually, you're not cut off as often. It feels that way to me anyway, and you get through much more quickly. But yeah, Marco Polo is really neat because you've got the choices. You're gonna, at least for me, it feels like there's a choice. You spend more time traveling, or you spend more time sitting in the market and doing stuff. And as you travel, you get different benefits and things. And the market, you can just trade and sell and do this stuff. What's great too, though, is the starting players for Marco Polo just blow my mind. Each one of them, as you're looking to choose, you're just like, wow, this seems like it'd break the game. It's so powerful. And you pick up the next one, you're like, wow, this is so powerful. How does this not break? All of the starting players are like that. They have one ability they have that's just amazing. And everybody's got different, it's asymmetrical. Everybody's got a different power and stuff, but it just works so well. It's just that the dice hate me, but the dice love you, and you have a wonderful time, so...
You just play the character that lets you get 6s for all your dice or whatever.
Yes, I do. If I don't get that one, I do get a little bit sad because
The cheaty one.
Yeah.
I like the one where you have the 2 travelers on both ends.
Yeah, that was really powerful too. I mean, it's funny, we say that all the time. We're like, that's really powerful, but it was. So, it's pretty amazing.
That's a good one. Again, it doesn't make my list for...
time purposes?
Non-cheaty reasons.
Wow. Technical difficulties. What's your number 3?
What's funny is I think my top... So you did yours from lightest to heaviest.
Yes.
I think my top 3 are some of the lighter ones.
That's funny.
Yeah. I kind of put a line on how heavy I wanted to be, and then I picked my favorites among those. So there you go. So my number 3, speaking of light-ish, is Elysium. This is another card game with lots of symbols and things on it. Why you frowning?
No, I'm just curious what the weight is on that then, because I'm like, why didn't that
I think it's
get in my...
2.6 something.
I'm surprised wasn't on my radar then.
But anyway, Elysium is
a good one.
a game where you have, I think there's 10 or 12 decks, and you pick a certain number, I think 3 of them out of that, and you shuffle them up, and then every game is different based on that. And some decks are more attacky, some are more resource. You get a lot of victory. You churn out victory points as you go instead of
some
at the
of them
end of
give
the
you
game.
more benefit after they're in Elysium themselves and stuff like the different matches. That's a cool.
Yeah, so you're drafting
cool
you're drafting cards, and they're and when you draft them, they go into your tableau, and then while they're there, unless they're an instant card that gives you one ability immediately, they give you powers as you go. But at some point, you have to decide to put them in your Elysium, and you lose that power. But then they transition to in-game scoring. So you have to. You got to
balance when you have to
balance it, because if you wait too long, you're not going to get all your cards down at the bottom. You have to kind of go. You have to kind of decide. Okay, I'll put this one down, even though it gives me a cool ability. Because if you don't continually put cards down in the in-game story in the Elysium, you're not going at the end of the game. You're not going to score very many points, and that's where the brunt of your points come are from. Getting sets and sets and things like that in your Elysium. So,
True enough.
So they said it's a 2.7 something. So.
Oh, that totally would have made my list then. Yeah, that's like perfect. So, it's my number 11.
Okay, Tom.
So yeah, that's a good one. Elysium's awesome.
I like that game.
So, all right, my number 2. Is right on the edge.
Oh,
right on the edge for us.
I'm putting my feet down on this one.
What? No, I think we can do it in an hour.
Anyway, I already put it, so just say what it is.
Yeah, okay. It's a 3.22 out of 5. and it's Lorenzo il Magnifico. Now, I think now we can play it in an hour.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think we can play it now.
Borderline an hour.
Yeah,
for
now
two
it's saying
players.
60 to 120 minutes, and we're right there. We're right there for that. So again, this one's
Yeah,
kind
the last
of...
game we played went pretty quick.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It typically goes pretty quickly because you know what cards you really want to go for, and you can either get them or you can't. Very few times have we been able to sit through and think through a weird finagle to fix it and get what you want, you know. It's usually by the time your turn rolls around, you either can get it or not. So it seems to get much faster for us now.
Yeah, it's got a card drafting, an interesting card drafting mechanism.
Yeah.
You have workers that you have an orange, a white, and a black worker, and they what word am I looking
Correspond?
for? Correspond to dice. So you're going to roll the dice, and those are community dice. And everyone uses it. So your orange worker will have a certain power.
Yeah.
The black and the white worker each will have a certain power, but everyone's worker has that same power. So there's randomness to it, but everyone kind of uses the same dice, so they work with the same. You know, if you get an unlucky roll and all the dice are crap, everyone has to deal with that. And if they're all great, everyone gets the benefit of that. So
Totally.
I like, unlike like Marco Polo, which has dice like that. Like you said, you can get a bad roll and you just get a bad roll.
Bad, yeah. You're like, yeah.
This one it balances that out by everyone, suffering or benefiting. So I like that. And as a side, Board Game Blender number 63, we feature this game. So
yeah, if you want to learn more about it,
just came
you should go
on
there.
today. And it'll be over on the Dice Tower.
Yes, and today being September 21st, 2017.
Yes,
for you
yes.
people not watching live. But yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I this would never even popped into my head.
Well, no, because I mean, it's a very heavy game, and we're just now finally at the point where we're playing it at an hour. I mean, like you said, the first time you're like, okay, what's this do again? What's this? You know, you're learning that. The learning game is always much longer.
I can see this one taking much longer with more. We have. We've only played it 2 players. I would think 4 player because you have more spots on the board, but at the same time, you're not getting more spots.
People are going to block stuff.
Yeah, you're not getting.
You're going to have backup plans.
Yeah, you're not getting the corresponding number. It's not increasing equally, right? So the number of spots 2 player have 3. You're not adding. 50% more places to go. So it's going to get tighter and tighter. So you're going to have to think more. Decide what you want to do first more, and I can see that extending the game time.
That's totally true. So, good stuff. Anyway, that's my number 2, Lorenzo il Magnifico.
My number 2, I may get some grief on this one, but we'll see.
Sure, why not?
We'll see what happens.
Bring it. I'll give you grief just because. What? No.
My number 2 is Pandemic Legacy Season 1. So.
And you give me grief.
What? Each game of this is less than an hour, but the reason I say it's kind of a cheat-ish, when you first start playing this game, you're basically playing Pandemic. At the end of the game, you got all these new rules, all these things going on. You're adding, you literally add rules to the game as you play it. And when you play that last few games, you have a pretty thick rule book in terms of number of rules that are going on. I'm not going to spoil anything, but you're dealing with a lot of different rules, a lot of different abilities. Your characters are getting different abilities. Somewhat spoilers. There's more game there. So I wouldn't say the first few plays of Pandemic Legacy is going to be heavy, but I think at the end, the last couple of months, it's going to be heavy.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of new information, new things to deal with.
Yeah.
So I think this game's partially heavy. It grows into a heavy game, but at the same time, you're playing and you're learning those rules. So it's not you're not going to feel that effect as much because you're kind of
eased into it, right?
Yeah, you're eased into the heavy game. But I think if you took that last game, few games, and put that at the front, it would be a lot to take in.
Yeah, but to actually say you played the game would be like average 18 hours.
That's the same thing. Well, that's anything that's scenario based.
No, I know.
You have to look at one scenario because you can always play 1 month and go, okay, I'm not going to play anymore.
Yeah, because that doesn't happen. By the way, they're like Lay's potato chips. Lay's potato chips. This game.
Yeah, we played
several in a row.
We played like I know, like 6 hours is the first day, like 12 hours the second day.
This is what happens when you get babysitting. Like, oh, let's just play one more game. We don't need to eat. Whatever.
So anyway, so I kind of
yeah.
it kind of ramps up in the heaviness. So
There you
don't look at this game and go, oh, it's a super heavy game. I think it starts out, if you played Pandemic, you're starting on the same footing basically, and then it grows into something bigger.
There you go. There you go. All right, my number one.
Oh,
you
dear.
love. It is obviously my heaviest game.
Oh, what is it going to be? Something you like that I don't.
Sure about that?
We can do it in an hour. I'm not going to look too long. Heavy. I don't know.
I was going to say, since I went from a two-player perspective, you're probably not going to guess
it's going to be tough.
It weighs in as a whopping 3.76
the...
on the 5.
Which one is it?
You typed over my answer.
No, it's here.
I was like, IT guy's fired. And it's Le Havre.
Can we get this done in an hour?
Yep. We
No,
can.
no
Now,
way.
the setup
that's true.
is a different story. But playing the game, yes, we can easily get this done in an hour.
Can we get it done in an hour?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
Sure.
The playtime for, I lost my spot here, is 30 to 150 minutes. And that's baloney. BGG says it's 30 to 150. No, we get it done in an hour.
I don't think we can get this done in an hour.
Yeah. Now, again, I would not count the setup for that.
I don't know.
Setup
I
is
doth
of
protest.
nonsense. You can protest all you want, Pandemic Legacy.
What?
Pandemic Legacy?
It was confirmed to 2.79 by someone in the chat, so.
Yeah, 18 hours. But,
we might be able to squeak this in under an hour.
Yeah,
if it's fully set up.
Yeah. But again.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it's tight, but it's there. So I went ahead and put it in for that because, especially as much as we've played it now, we know it pretty well. So we can just dive into it. And
that one is crazy heavy, though.
Yeah, and it is. It's pretty heavy.
Not, well,
again, this
for a
it would
shorter
not be something that you could do multiplayer in an hour. No way.
Oh, no, I don't.
No, even if you have a bunch of fast players, there's just no way. There's just so much going on in that game. But with 2 players.
All right, we're throwing this
doable.
down. I'm going to time it.
All right. Do what you want. I care not. So, yes, Bria, what's your number one, huh?
Yeah, see, they said Tom and Melody took an hour and 40 minutes.
They're slow.
I don't think you can get this in
They're playing
an hour.
to the crowd. They're playing to the crowd.
You want to change your number one?
No.
Okay. All right. My number one is not Le Havre.
Huh.
It is Bruges.
Oh, that is très light compared to...
Yeah, it is light compared to yours. But any game that has a card that has 7 uses has to be a little bit heavy, right? I think it's 7. Is it 7 uses?
It has a lot.
7 uses?
I think you're probably exaggerating a bit, but...
I think it's 7 uses, right?
Oh my goodness.
I have to look this up. I'm curious.
So OCD. You could just look at the card and count on it.
I could. That'd be easier, wouldn't it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4,
7.
5, 6, 7. 7 uses.
See, look at that.
Or 6.
Yep.
So Bruges is one of my favorite Feld games. I love it. That's why it's at the top of this list. And you can easily get this done with any number of players in under an hour because there's a lot of almost. I think you can because all you do is drafting cards and putting in your tab and decide what to do.
Yeah, but you have to make a choice between 7 different things.
Okay, if you're a slow player, you won't get it done in an hour. But Bruges has like I said, it has multi-use cards. I love games that have that, and this has an overload because you can get resources, or you can build buildings, or you can use it for the power, or you can use it to build little moat things or whatever they're called, dikes. What are they called? Moats? I don't know what they're called. But there's all kinds of great things you can do with the cards. It goes quick. Canals. There you go. So I like that, but then the reason I think it's heavy, and it's not one of the heavier ones on my list, like I said, but it's heavy because you have to explain, okay, you can use the card for this, and this is how that works. You can also use the card for this, and that's how this works. Then you can use the card for this, and that's how this works. You have to go through each one of those. And then in addition to that, there's also the canal building race that's going on. There's the race to have the most, what is it, honor or whatever it is you're getting over here.
Oh, yeah. The prestige. No, it's not prestige, but yeah. But
something like that.
Yeah, you're right.
And then there's also the dice and the rolling of the dice and dealing with that and then you got all the diseases going on. And you have to decide what to do with that.
Well, that took a turn.
there is a lot going on in the game. And
I forgot all the stupid diseases. You're like playing along and you're like, I wasn't paying attention to my cards.
Are they diseases or curses or something? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It's all the same.
It's all the same.
Rats are chewing apart your bridges and stuff. I don't know.
So Bruges is my number one. It is, I think, Castles takes more than an hour if you have a full complement. So does Trajan. So does Delphi.
Oh, yeah.
So Bruges made the top list because it's 60 minutes. I think it's pretty much 60 minutes no matter how many players you're playing with because it goes quickly.
I guess it depends on who you're playing. But yeah, it's pretty fast. So there's that. That's true. A couple of people mentioned something I want to look up now.
What's that?
I want to check the weight of Seasons in Alhambra because
We haven't played Seasons.
No, that's the one we played with the girls, isn't it?
No.
What was the game we played with the girls?
What do you mean?
The one with the little art, the Japanese art we stopped through and...
That's Tokaido.
Oh, Tokaido. That's what I was thinking of. Tokaido.
Tokaido's super light. That one's like a 1.5.
Yeah, I was going to say that one's...
But Seasons, we haven't played Seasons. Because Seasons... You guys can correct me in the comments in the chat. I think Seasons is kind of a mean game. That's why I've avoided it. I think it's kind of a mean...
Like...
Mean.
Is it designed to be that way, or is it one of those where you build stuff up?
It's designed to be mean. I could be wrong. I think it is a mean game. You can do like destroy things and hinder the other players.
Yeah. Oh, Seasons is a 2.77.
So
thank you, Dan.
What else did you say?
Oh, Alhambra. Because
Alhambra's
I thought it was light.
I thought it was light.
I thought it was pretty light because I did not think to put it on my list, and I want to say that I thought it was pretty light, and I don't see anything on that, but. That game I absolutely love, and it would play pretty quickly, too, for a go-to game. But, again, I think it's too light from what I was looking for on my list. But.
Can we get Through the Ages done in under an hour?
Oh, yeah, totally. Same with Twilight Imperium, the abridged version.
So, Alhambra's 2.35.
Oh, yeah, see, that was...
2.12. We have 2 votes.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
It would have been too light.
Well, there you have it, folks. There is our top 10...
Short. Light?
Short, but kind of heavy.
Heavy for the time frame.
Because, like I said in the opening, I don't think we've played any heavy games that are under an hour.
I don't know that... I was going to say, I want to find one.
I don't know if one exists. Maybe there's a market out there for ultra heavy games that don't take long to play.
But that take forever to learn. Yeah, that'd be... Now I feel like we need to do some research. That sounds interesting. Twilight Imperium, the dice game. There you go. I dig it. Let's do it. It'll be 5,000 dice.
All right, folks. I think that is it. Look for our next top 10, which is...
Oh, yes. Our next top 10 will be, drum roll, the one that you guys voted and picked on, and that is the top 10 strategic family games. So that will be our next top 10.
All right, folks. Leave us in the comments what your short but heavy games, an hour or less.
And whether you're playing a 2-player or with everybody.
Yes, and why you like it and why it is so heavy. And we will see you
next time.
next time.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.